I'd like to have the cast on stage. Tonight's cast is Rob Nadell. Did I pronounce it?
No, Nidell. It's okay.
Tonight's cast is Rob Nadell. Right?
Yes. Okay.
John Tunn, Jennifer March, and Leslie Scatcher. They deserve that.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, good night, and may your
That's
God
it.
go with you.
That's all you get. The story has two characters. One of them is Buddy. Buddy is being performed by Rob and John.
Separated at birth.
The other character is the elderly cousin, performed by Jennifer and Leslie. The Petaluma Reader's Theme.
A Christmas Memory by Truman Capote. Imagine a morning in late November. A coming of winter morning more than 20 years ago. Consider the kitchen in an old house in a country town. A great black stove is its main feature, but there's also a big round table and a fireplace. And just today, the fireplace has commenced its seasonal roar. A woman with shorn white hair is standing at the window. She's wearing tennis shoes and a shapeless gray sweater over a summery calico dress. She's small and sprightly, like a bantam hen. But due to a long youthful illness, her shoulders are pitifully hunched. Her face is remarkable. Not unlike Lincoln's, craggy like that, and tinted by sun and wind. But it's delicate, too. Finely boned, and her eyes are sherry-colored and timid.
Oh my, it's fruitcake weather.
The person to whom she is speaking is myself. I am 7. She is 60-something. We're cousins, very distant ones, and we have lived together, well, long as I can remember.
Other people inhabit the house, relatives. And though they have power over us and frequently make us cry, we are not on the whole too much aware of them.
We are each other's best friend. She called me Buddy in memory of a boy who was formerly her best friend.
The other Buddy died when she was a child. She is still a child.
I knew it before I got out of bed. The courthouse bell sounded so cold and clear, and there were no birds singing. They've gone to warmer country, yes indeed. Oh, Buddy, stop stuffing biscuits and fetch a buggy. We've 30 cakes to bake.
It's always the same. A morning arrives in November, and my friend, as though officially inaugurating the Christmas time of year that exhilarates her imagination and fuels the blaze of her heart, announces,
It's fruitcake weather. Fetch a buggy.
Together we guide our buggy, a dilapidated baby carriage, into a grove of pecan trees. The buggy is mine. That is, it was bought for me when I was born.
It is made of wicker, rather unraveled, and the wheels wobble like a drunkard's legs. In the summer, we pile it with picnic paraphernalia and roll it down to the edge of the creek.
It has its winter uses too, as a truck for hauling firewood from the yard to the kitchen, and as a warm bed for Queenie.
A tough little orange and white rat terrier who survived distemper and 2 rattlesnake bites.
3 hours later, we're back in the kitchen hulling a heap and buggy load of windfall pecans.
Crunch!
A cheery crunch.
Uh-huh.
Scraps of miniature thunder sound as the shells collapse and the golden mound of ivory meat mounts in the milk glass bowl.
Queenie begs to taste.
Now and again, my friend sneaks her a bite, though insisting we deprive ourselves.
We mustn't, buddy. If we start, we won't stop, and there's scarcely enough as there is for 30 cakes.
The kitchen is growing dark. Dusk turns the window into a mirror. Our reflections mingle with the rising moon as we work by the fireside.
At last, we toss the final hull in the fire, and with joined sighs, watch it catch flame. The buggy is empty. The bowl is brim full.
We eat our supper and discuss tomorrow. Tomorrow, the kind of work I like best begins.
Buying.
Cherries and citron, ginger and vanilla and canned Hawaiian pineapple, rinds and raisins and walnuts and whiskey and oh, so much flour and butter and so many eggs and spices and flavorings. Well, we'll need a pony to pull the buggy home.
But before these purchases can be made, there is the question of
Money.
neither of us has any, except what we earn for ourselves, holding rummage sales, selling buckets of hand-picked blackberries, rounding up flowers for funerals and weddings.
Once we won 79th prize.
$5 in a national football contest.
Not that we know a fool thing about football. It's just that we enter any contest we hear about.
At the moment, our hopes are centered on the $50,000 grand prize being offered to name a new brand of coffee. We suggested
A.M.
And after some hesitation, for my friend thought it perhaps sacrilegious, the slogan
A.M.
Amen.
To tell the truth, our only really profitable enterprise was the Fun and Freak Museum we conducted 2 summers ago.
The fun was a stereopticon with slide views of Washington and New York.
And the freak was a 3-legged bitty chicken, hatched by one of our own hens.
Everybody hereabouts wanted to see that biddy.
We charged grown-ups a nickel, kids 2 cents, and took in a good $20 before the museum shut down.
Due to, well, the decease of the main attraction.
But one way and another, we do each year accumulate Christmas savings. A fruitcake fund.
These monies we keep hidden in an ancient bead purse, under a loose board,
Under a chamber pot.
Under my friend's bed.
The purse is seldom removed from this safe location, except to make a deposit, or, as it happens every Saturday, a withdrawal. For on Saturdays,
I'm allowed to go to a picture show. And my friend has never been to a picture show, nor does she intend to.
I'd rather hear you tell the story, buddy. That way I can imagine it more. Besides, a person my age shouldn't squander their eyes. When the Lord comes, let me see him clear.
In addition to never having seen a movie, My friend has never...
Eaten in a restaurant, traveled more than 5 miles from home, received or sent a telegram, read anything besides funny papers and the Bible, worn cosmetics, cursed, wished someone harm, told a lie on purpose, let a hungry dog go hungry.
A few things my friend has done or does do.
Killed with a hoe the biggest rattlesnake ever seen in this county. Dipped snuff secretly. Tames hummingbirds till they balance on her finger. Tells ghost stories. We both believe in ghosts. Talks to herself. Takes walks in the rain. Grows the prettiest japonicas in town. Knows the recipes for every sort of old-time Indian cure.
Now, with supper finished, silently we take the bead purse from its secret place and we spill its contents on the quilt.
Dollar bills, tightly rolled and green as May buds. Somber 50-cent pieces, heavy enough to weight a dead man's eyes. Lovely dimes, the liveliest coin, the one that really jingles. Nickels and quarters, worn smooth as creek pebbles, but mostly a hateful heap of bitter-odored pennies.
Neither of us has a head for figures. We count slowly, lose track, start again.
According to her calculations, we have $12.73. According to mine, exactly $13.
I do hope you're wrong, buddy. We can't mess around with 13. The cakes will fall or put somebody in the cemetery. Why, I wouldn't dream of getting out of bed on the 13th.
This is true. She always spends 13ths in bed. So, to be on the safe side,
We subtract a penny. Toss it out the window.
Of the ingredients that goes into our fruitcakes, whiskey is the most expensive, as well as the hardest to obtain.
State laws forbid its sale, but everybody knows you can buy a bottle from Mr. Ha Ha Jones.
And the next day, having completed our more prosaic shopping, we set out for Mr. Ha Ha's business address. A sinful, to quote public opinion, fish fry and dancing cafe down by the river.
we've been there before, but in previous years our dealings would have been with Mr. Ha Ha's wife. An iodine dark Indian woman with brassy peroxided hair.
Well, we've actually never laid eyes on her husband, though we've heard that he's an Indian too. A giant with razor scars across his cheeks. They call him Ha Ha because he's so gloomy.
As we approach his cafe, our steps slow down. Even Queenie stops prancing and sticks close by. People have been murdered in Mr. Ha Ha's cafe, cut to pieces, hit on the head. Well, naturally, these goings-on happen at night when the colored lights cast crazy patterns and the Victrola wails.
In the daytime, Ha Ha's is shabby and deserted.
I knock at the door. Queenie barks. My friend calls.
Mrs. Ha Ha, ma'am? Anyone to home?
Footsteps. The door opens. Our hearts overturn. It's Mr. Ha-Ha Jones himself.
He is a giant.
He does have scars.
He doesn't smile.
No, he glowers at us through Satan-tilted eyes and demands to know
What you want with Ha-Ha?
For a moment, we're too paralyzed to tell. Presently, my friend half finds her voice.
If you please, Mr. Ha-Ha, we'd like a quart of your finest whiskey.
his eyes tilt more. Would you believe it? Ha-Ha is smiling.
Which one of you is a drinking man?
It's for making fruitcakes, Mr. Ha-Ha. Cooking.
That's no way to waste good whiskey.
Nevertheless, he retreats into the shadowed cafe and seconds later appears carrying a bottle of daisy yellow unlabeled liquor. He demonstrates its sparkle and says,
$2.
We pay him with nickels and dimes and pennies.
Suddenly, as he jangles the coins in his hand like a pair of dice, his face softens.
Tell you what. He proposes pouring the money back into our bead purse. Just send me one of them fruitcakes instead.
Well, there's a lovely man. We'll just add an extra cup of raisins to his cake.
The black stove glows like a lighted pumpkin.
Egg beaters whirl. Spoons spin around in bowls of butter and sugar. Vanilla sweetens the air. Ginger spices it. Nose-tingling odors saturate the kitchen, suffuse the house, drift out to the world on puffs of chimney smoke.
In 4 days, our work is done.
31 cakes.
Dampened with whiskey.
Bask on windowsills and shelves. Who are they for?
Friends.
Not necessarily neighbor friends. Indeed, the larger share is intended for persons we've met maybe once, perhaps not at all.
People who've struck our fancy.
Like President Roosevelt.
Like the Reverend and J.C. Lucy, Baptist missionaries to Borneo, or Abner Packer, the driver of the 6 o'clock bus who exchanges waves with us every day as he passes.
Is it because my friend is so shy with everyone except strangers that these strangers seem to be our truest friends?
I think yes.
Also, the scrapbooks we keep of thank yous on White House stationery and time-to-time communications from Borneo make us feel connected to eventful worlds beyond our kitchen.
With its view of a sky that stops.
Now, the kitchen is empty. The cakes are gone.
Yesterday, we carted the last of them to the post office, where the cost of stamps turned our purse inside out.
We're broke.
That rather depresses me. But my friend insists on celebrating.
With 2 inches of whiskey left in Ha-Ha's bottle.
Queenie has a spoonful in a bowl of coffee. She likes her coffee chicory flavored and strong.
The rest we divide between a pair of jelly glasses.
The taste of it brings screwed up expressions and sour shudders, but
By and by, we begin to sing.
The two of us singing different songs simultaneously. I don't know the words to mine, just
Come on along, to the Dark Town Strutters Ball.
But I can dance. That's what I mean to be. A tap dancer in the movies.
My dancing shadow rollicks on the walls. Our voices rock the chinaware. We giggle.
My friend waltzes round the stove, the hem of her poor calico skirt pinched between her fingers as though it were a party dress.
Show me the way to go home.
She sings, her tennis shoes squeaking on the floor.
Show me the way to go home.
Enter two relatives.
Very angry, potent with eyes that scold,
A child of 7?
whiskey on his breath,
Are you out of your mind?
road to ruination,
Remember Uncle Charles?
shame,
Scandal!
humiliation.
Queenie sneaks under the stove.
My friend gazes at her shoes. Her chin quivers.
She lifts her skirt and blows her nose and runs to her room.
Long after the town has gone to sleep and the house is silent, she's weeping into a pillow.
Don't cry.
I say, sitting at the bottom of her bed.
Don't cry. You're too old for that.
It's because I am too old. Old and funny.
Not funny. Fun. More fun than anybody. Listen, if you don't stop crying, you'll be so tired tomorrow. Well, we can't go cut a tree.
She straightens up. Queenie jumps on the bed where Queenie is not allowed to lick her cheeks.
I know where we'll find real pretty trees, buddy. And holly, too, with berries as big as your eyes. It's way off in the woods, farther than we've ever been. Papa used to bring us Christmas trees from there 50 years ago. Well, now I can't wait for morning.
Morning.
The sun, round as an orange, balances on the horizon, burnishes the silvered winter woods. A wild turkey calls. Soon, by the edge of knee-deep, rapid running water, we have to abandon the buggy.
On the farther shore, Queenie shakes herself and trembles.
My friend shivers too. Not with cold, but with enthusiasm. She lifts her head and inhales the pine-heavy air.
We're almost there, buddy. Can you smell it?
Scented acres of holiday trees, prickly-leafed holly.
Red berries, shiny as Chinese bells.
Having stuffed our burlap sacks with enough greenery and crimson to garland a dozen windows, we set about choosing a tree.
It should be twice as tall as a boy, so the boy can't steal the star.
One we picked twice as tall as me.
A brave, handsome brute that survives 30 hatchet strokes before it keels with a creaking, rending cry.
Lugging it like a kill, we commence the long trek out.
Many compliments accompany our sunset return. Once a car stops, and the rich mill owner's wife leans out and whines.
Give you 2 bits cash for that old tree.
Now, ordinarily, my friend is afraid of saying no. But on this occasion, she promptly shakes her head.
Wouldn't take $1. The mill owner's wife persists.
$1 my foot. 50 cents. That's my last offer. Goodness, woman, you can get another one.
In answer, my friend gently reflects.
I doubt it. There's never 2 of anything.
Home. Queenie slumps by the fire and sleeps till tomorrow, snoring loud as a human.
A trunk in the attic contains
Coils of frazzled tinsel gone gold with age, one silver star, a brief rope of dilapidated, undoubtedly dangerous light bulbs, excellent decorations as far as they go, which isn't far enough.
My friend wants our tree.
To blaze like the Baptist window.
But we can't afford the splendors at the Five and Dime, so we do what we've always done.
Sit for days at the kitchen table with scissors and crayons and stacks of colored paper.
I'll make sketches, and my friend cuts them out. Lots of cats. Fish, too, because they're easy to draw. Some apples, some watermelons, a few winged angels devised from saved up Hershey bar tinfoil.
We use safety pins to attach these creations to the tree. As a final touch, we sprinkle the branches with shredded cotton.
My friend, surveying the effect, clasps her hands together.
Now, honest, buddy, doesn't it look good enough to eat?
Our next project is the fashioning of family gifts. Tie-dye scarves for the ladies.
For the men, a home-brewed lemon and licorice and aspirin syrup to be taken at the first symptoms of a cold or after hunting.
But when it comes time to make each other's gift, my friend and I separate to work secretly.
I would like to buy her a pearl-handled knife, a radio, a whole pound of chocolate-covered cherries. We tasted some once. She always swears.
I could live on them, buddy. Lord, yes, I could. And that's not taking his name in vain.
Instead, I'm building her a kite.
She would like to buy me a bicycle. She said so on several million occasions.
If only I could, buddy. It's bad enough in life to do without something you want.
But confound it, what gets my goat is not being able to give somebody something you want them to have. Only one of these days I will, buddy, locate you a bike.
Instead, I'm fairly certain she's building me a kite. Same as last year and the year before. All of which is fine with me, for we are champion kite flyers who study the wind like sailors.
My friend, more accomplished than I, can get a kite aloft when there isn't enough breeze to carry clouds.
Christmas Eve afternoon, we go to the butcher's to buy Queenie's traditional gift, a good gnawable beef bone. The bone, wrapped in funny paper, is placed high on the tree near the silver star.
Queenie knows it's there. She squats at the foot of the tree, staring up in a trance of greed.
Now, her excitement is equaled by my own. I kick the covers and turn my pillow as though it were a scorching summer's night.
Buddy, are you awake?
It's my friend calling from her room, which is next to mine. An instant later, she's sitting on my bed holding a candle.
Well, I can't sleep a hoot. My mind's jumping like a jackrabbit. Buddy, do you think Mrs. Roosevelt will serve our cake at dinner?
We huddle in the bed, and she squeezes my hand.
I love you. Seems like your hand used to be so much smaller. I guess I hate to see you grow up. When you grow up, will we still be friends?
Well, I say, always.
But I feel so bad, buddy. I wanted so bad to give you a bike. Buddy, I made you another kite.
Then I confess I made her one too. And we laugh.
The candle burns too short to hold. out it goes.
Possibly we doze, but the beginnings of dawn splash us like cold water. We're up, wide-eyed, while we wait for others to waken.
Quite deliberately, my friend drops a kettle on the floor.
One by one, the household emerges, looking as though they'd like to kill us both.
But it's Christmas, so they can't.
First, a gorgeous breakfast. Just everything you can imagine, from flapjacks and fried squirrel to hominy grits and honey in the comb, which puts everyone in a good humor.
Except my friend and me. We're so impatient to get at the presents, we can't eat a mouthful.
Well, I'm disappointed. Who wouldn't be? With socks, a Sunday school shirt, some handkerchiefs, a hand-me-down sweater, and a year subscription to a religious magazine for children. Makes me boil. It really does.
My friend has a better haul. A sack of satsumas, that's her best present. But she says her favorite gift is the kite I built her. And it is very beautiful, though not as beautiful as the one she made for me, which is blue and scattered with green and gold good conduct stars.
Moreover, my name is painted on it. Buddy.
Buddy, the wind is blowing.
The wind is blowing, and nothing will do till we've run to the pasture below the house where Queenie has scooted to bury her bone. And where, a winter hence, Queenie will be buried too.
There, we unreel our kites, feel them twitching at the string like skyfish as they swim into the wind. Sun-dried or satisfied and sun-warmed, we sprawl in the grass and watch our kites cavort.
Soon, I forget the socks and hand-me-down sweater. I'll tell you, I'm as happy as if we'd already won the $50,000 prize in that coffee naming contest.
My, how foolish I am.
My friend cries, suddenly alert, like a woman remembering too late she has biscuits in the oven.
You know what I've always thought? I've always thought a body would have to be sick and dying before they saw the Lord. And I imagined that when he came, it would be like looking at a Baptist window, pretty as colored glass, with the sun pouring through such a shine you don't even know it's getting dark. And it's been a comfort to think of that shine taking away all the spooky feeling. But I'll wager that never happens. I'll wager at the very end, a body realizes the Lord has already shown himself. That things as they are, just as they've always been, was seeing him. As for me, I could leave the world with today in my eyes.
This is our last Christmas together. Life separates us. Those who know best decide I belong in a military school. I have a new home too, but it doesn't count.
Home is where my friend is. And there I never go. And there she remains, puttering around the kitchen, alone with Queenie.
Then alone.
Buddy, dear.
She writes in her wild, hard-to-read script.
Yesterday, Jim May's horse kicked Queenie bad. Be thankful she didn't feel much. I wrapped her in a fine linen sheet and rode her in the buggy down to Simpson's pasture, where she can be with all her bones.
For a few Novembers, she continues to bake her fruitcakes single-handed. Not as many, but some, and she, of course, always sends me.
The best of the batch.
Also, in every letter she encloses a dime, wadded in toilet paper.
See a picture show and write me the story.
But gradually, in her letters, she tends to confuse me with her other friend, Buddy, who died. More and more, 13ths are not the only days she stays in bed. A morning arrives in November. A leafless, birdless coming of winter morning, when she cannot rouse herself to exclaim,
Oh my, it's fruitcake weather.
And when that happens, I know it.
A message saying so confirms a piece of news some secret vein had already received, severing from me an irreplaceable part of myself.
Letting it loose, like a kite on a broken string.
That is why on this particular December morning,
I keep searching the sky, as if I expected to see
rather like hearts,
a lost pair of kites.
hurrying toward heaven.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks to our fabulous director, Terry Kolke. Yay, Terry.
Thanks to Gary Youngs for recording us tonight. And his assistants.